Good morning. Thank you for joining me in this morning mindfulness practice. Let's take a deep breath in. Settle your central nervous system. Remind yourself this is a brand new day, a new day of infinite potential, infinite possibilities. You don't have to replay yesterday. You don't have to go along with the pattern in your brain that tells you this is automatically the way things are. Your brain is neuroplastic. It is capable of being rewired, of choosing new pathways, of telling yourself a different story. What are you telling yourself? For what you say to yourself causes your future. Inner speech reveals the state of consciousness from which you view the world. Notice what you're noticing. Notice what you're talking about. Notice what you're saying to yourself. Notice how that makes you feel. It's in noticing and becoming aware of your thoughts and your feelings that you can change your automatic reactions, your automatic places that you go that create your life. Where do you go in your mind? Oftentimes we spend time in a ritual of praise and thanksgiving, gratitude and prayer. We say, thank you, Lord, for my life. Thank you for my job, for my family. And then we ask for all the things that we don't have, but we ask from a place of poverty, scarcity, wanting, missing. And when you come from a place of lack, limitation, scarcity, and needing something, you build up that energy and you actually create more want, more need, more noticing what's missing. So I'm asking you to relax and consider asking from a place that it's already done, giving grateful thanksgiving for your desires as if they've already happened. Now, that takes coming from a different state of being, a different place, not from needing or wanting, but from already having. I want you to think about a time and space, a moment in your life that you were totally satisfied, feeling at ease, feeling this is the best experience of my life. You were so absorbed in the moment that nothing else mattered. Maybe it was the first time you truly fell in love. Maybe it was the birth of your grandchild. Maybe it was you've accomplished something in your business life and you feel on top of the world. The accolades are coming in and it feels like you can do no wrong. Whatever comes to you, that feeling of well-being, of life is so fantastic. Bring that feeling back in, that picture of how you were living in that moment, healthy, happy, totally grateful, at ease. Let that feeling wash over you. Feel the experience as if it's happening all over again. Your mind goes there easily and your heart follows, and it feels like you are re-experiencing that situation all over again. Your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's imagined. So even though it's something that you've previously experienced, the flood of chemicals in your body, your central nervous system, your mind, your heart, everything gets into alignment with that feeling as if you're right back there in that moment. When you're thinking about a desire that you want to create in your life, something that you really want, that's the kind of energy that I want you to imagine, experience, express while you're thinking about your heart's desire, what you want, not from a place of wanting and missing it, but of a place of what it's like to experience that. And you may say, well, I don't know what that would be like because I never experienced it before. But if you take the experience of the best moment in your life, every cell of your being starts to vibrate in that energy of joy, gratitude, love, peace, all the higher vibrational, energetic feelings. And in those frequencies, you become magnetized to attract to you everything that is necessary for you to experience what you really desire. It's like you're magnetizing yourself to this energetic vibration. And as your brain thinks about what you really want and your heart resonates with this beautiful feeling of loving energy, peace and prosperity, health and well-being, your entire being is magnetized to attract peace, joy, prosperity, love. This is how everything is created, by getting into the feeling as if it's already done. Not wasting your time and energy worrying or fretting about how it could happen, but just being in that feeling. When you're in that feeling as if it's already done, the universe rearranges itself. You start to get ideas, answers come to you out of the blue. And as you start to take action, things line up, things happen that never would have happened when you're thinking from a place of lack and want. The universe works with attraction, not force. In William Blake's The Marriage of Heaven and Hell, he says, "Does a firm persuasion that a thing is so make it so?" And the prophet replied, "All poets believe that it does. And in ages of imagination, this firm persuasion removed mountains. But many are not capable of a firm persuasion of anything." In the Bible, Romans 14:5 says, Let every man be fully persuaded in his own mind. When you are fully persuaded in your own mind, when you have the knowledge, the faith, the understanding that being in the feeling of what you want to create already being yours, then you don't need it to physically show up, but it does show up in physical reality because you let go of the how. The universal intelligence swept in and allowed it. Now, sometimes that means you go through challenges to strengthen you, to be ready to receive that which you desire. Sometimes there is an obstacle in your way that you've been fighting against that disappears. Sometimes it feels like what you desire is never going to happen. Spend more time in the feeling as if it is done rather than looking for evidence of why it's not here yet. In Neville Goddard's the book, The Power of Awareness, there is also a chapter called The Coin of Heaven. This is the second half of the Power of Awareness book, where Neville has another book called Awakened Imagination. And I'm going to read from Neville Goddard. Persuasion is an inner effort of intense attention. To listen attentively as though you heard is to evoke, to activate. By listening, you can hear what you want to hear and persuade those beyond the range of the outer ear. Speak it inwardly in your imagination only. Make your inner conversation match your fulfilled desire. What you desire to hear without, you must hear within. Embrace the without within and become one who hears only that which implies the fulfillment of his desire, and all the external happenings in the world will become a bridge leading to the objective realization of your desire. Your inner speech is perpetually written all around you in happenings. Learn to relate these happenings to your inner speech, and you will become self-taught. By inner speech is meant those mental conversations which you carry on with yourself. They may be inaudible when you are awake because of the noise and distractions of the outer world of becoming, but they are quite audible in deep meditation and dream. But whether they be audible or inaudible, you are their author and you fashion your world in their likeness. There is a God in heaven, and heaven is within you, that revealeth secrets and maketh known to the king Nebuchadnezzar what shall be in the latter days. Thy dream and the visions of thy head upon thy bed are these. That's from Daniel 2:28. Neville Goddard says, inner speech from premises of fulfilled desire is the way to create an intelligible world for yourself. Observe your inner speech, for it is the cause of future action. Inner speech reveals the state of consciousness from which you view the world. What are you saying to yourself? What mental chatter is going on all day long? Is it a noisy roommate yapping at you about all the things that are going wrong, pointing you in the direction of what is, what's already created, what's happening around you? What's happening around you matches what you've been thinking and talking and doing. Allow that energy to be released and make your inner speech match your fulfilled desire. What do you want? Never mind what's going on in the crazy outside world, in your current circumstances, in what's happening around you. Take the time to say what is your desire. Write it down. You might want to write down what's going wrong in your life right now, and then write the opposite. Because when you stay in the energy of what is manifests bigger and attracts more like energy, more circumstances, more problems, more things to talk about that you don't want. Neville says, make your inner speech match your fulfilled desire, for your inner speech is manifested all around you in happenings. The whole the whole manifested world goes to show us what we have made of the word, inner speech. An uncritical observation of our inner talking will reveal to us the ideas from which we view the world. Inner talking mirrors our imagination, and our imagination mirrors the state with which it is fused. If the state with which we are fused is the cause of the phenomena of our life, then we are relieved of the burden of wondering what to do, for we have no alternative but to identify ourselves with our aim. And inasmuch as the state with which we are identified mirrors itself in our inner speech, then to change the state with which we are fused, we must first change our inner talking. It is our inner conversations which make tomorrow's facts. So your inner talking mirrors your imagination, and your imagination mirrors the state with which it is fused. Those are what Bob Proctor and I call paradigms. The habitual way that you think, talk, do, behave, the things that are going on are your natural, normal, usual state from which you operate. You want to take notice of that. Write down what's going on in your world that is personally affecting you, that you want to let go of, that you would prefer to be gone, that maybe you're fighting against. An uncritical observation of your inner talking reveals the ideas from which you view the world. So, are you viewing the world as a place of evil and hatred and injustice? Write that down. Let that flow onto the paper. Get all that anger out of you. What language are you using? You might want to spend some time just spewing everything onto a sheet of paper and then burning that, shredding it, getting it out of you and onto the paper will release that energy. And then Bob Proctor taught me that when you put everything on paper, if you're still feeling attached to some anger, to some injustice, to some hatred, to what's going on that you don't want, keep writing. Keep writing until that's no longer a trigger for you. Get it out on paper and then uncritically, objectively look at that as if it's someone else's problem. What would you tell your best friend? What would you tell the love of your life? If that's hurting you, it's like holding on to a hot poker that you're using um, in your fireplace, and that heat is transferred on to the metal poker and it's burning your hand. When you focus on what's going on that's burning you up, that is creating an energetic vibration that brings like energy to you. There is a law of polarity, and there is a law of attraction. There are times in your life where things are going to feel terrible. Acknowledge that. Write it down and get rid of that energy. You might need to go for a long walk. You might need to spend some time exercising and burning off that energetic vibration. But you want to release it. Holding on to it, suppressing it, creates energetic fears, worries, doubts, anxiety, and that leads to dis-ease. Dis-ease in the body is not a body at ease. It's important to practice letting go. When you journal, write everything out and release it. When you want to change something that's going on in your outside world, let go of the negative energy. And Ephesians says, put off the former conversation, the old man which is corrupt, and be renewed in the spirit of your mind. Put on the new man which is created in righteousness. It means the old version of you has to die in order for that new version, what it is that you truly desire, to become your life. You can't go in both directions at the same time. You can't go north and expect to go south. You can't focus on bad and expect good to come into your life. Neville Goddard says, stop all of the old mechanical negative inner talking and start a new positive and constructive inner speech from premises of fulfilled desire. Inner talking is the beginning, the sowing of the seeds of future action. To determine the action, you must consciously initiate and control your inner talking. Construct a sentence which implies fulfillment of your aim, such as, I have a large, steady, dependable income consistent with integrity and mutual benefit. Or, I am wanted, I am loved, I am happily married, I am contributing to the good of the world. It might be a lie right now. But when you repeat such a sentence over and over and over until you are inwardly affected by it, then your outer speech becomes what you wished for, what you really want. Our inner speech represents in various ways the world we live in. In the Bible, John 1:1 says, "In the beginning was the Word." What you reap, you sow. What are you saying to yourself? What are you saying about your world? What do you want to be? What story do you want to be telling? We don't attract what we want, we attract what we are. Neville Goddard says, man attracts what he is. The art of life is to sustain the feeling of the wish fulfilled and let things come to you, not to go after them or think they flee away. Observe your inner talking and remember your aim. Do they match? Does your inner talking match what you would be saying audibly had you achieved your goal? The individual's inner speech and actions attract the conditions of his life. Through uncritical self-observation of your inner talking, you find where you are in the inner world. And where you are in the inner world is what you are in the outer world. You put on the new man whenever ideals and inner speech match. In this way alone can the new man be born. The right inner speech is the speech that would be yours were you to realize your ideal. In other words, it is the speech of fulfilled desire. I am that. I am that which I talk about. I am that which I think about repeatedly. There are two gifts which God has bestowed upon man alone and on no other mortal creature. These two, mind and speech. And the gift of mind and speech is equivalent to that of immortality. If a man uses these two gifts rightly, he will differ in nothing from the immortals. And when he quits the body, mind and speech, and when he quits the body, mind and speech will be his guides. And by them he will be brought into the troop of the gods and the souls that have attained to bliss. That's from Walter Scott's translation of Hermetica. The circumstances and conditions of life are outpictured inner talking, solidified sound. Inner speech calls events into existence. All that a man believes and consents to as true reveals itself in his inner speech. It is his word, his life. Notice what you're saying. Notice what you're saying to yourself. Notice the words that you're speaking. Notice, do they match what you truly desire? Write about what you want. Write about your life, your ideal, as if it's already done. think and talk about your life from a place that it's already created. Do this often enough and you start to believe it. And when you believe it, that's what is created in your life, because that is the law of perpetual transmutation of energy. What you think, what you say, what you do becomes your reality. Create a wonderful day. Thank you for joining me in this morning mindfulness practice. Practice what you want to become. And I'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 7. Thank you.